Texans fans, I got 2 words for you. Prime time. This Saturday night, the Texans up against the Colts. Win and you're in. Loser leaves town. It's a winner-take-all game this Saturday. Texans, Colts. I'm going to be breaking down everything you need to know about that game and all the playoff scenarios that come with it in today's show. So stay locked in, everybody. And if you want the Texans to win, if you bleed battle red, which everybody should be bleeding battle red. If not, you should go check with your doctor. But if you bleed battle red and you root for the Houston Texans, go down and subscribe to the channel right now. If I get 50 or more subs on this video, I'm going live this Saturday on this channel. Texans, Colts, going to be breaking down all the action. So go down, smash that subscribe button. Hey, if you don't like it in a week, you can unsubscribe. It's free. Go hit that sub button if you want daily Texans news and rumors videos all year long. And I've been saying it the whole start of the show. Week 18 matchup. Texans, Colts, both teams 9-7. Winner gets into the playoffs. It's the last week of the season. The most important game of the Texans schedule to this date. Be there or be square. It's the night game. We got a prime time. Texans have not been in prime time at all this year. Now, last week of the season, they're there. All the lights, they shine brightest on the Houston Texans in Week 18. As we look at the AFC Playoff Picture, they're right there behind the Indianapolis Colts, who are in the 7th seed at 9-7. Texans at 9-7 as well. If they win and the Steelers win, they own the tiebreaker of the Steelers, so they're in regardless if they win. As we see, the Baltimore Ravens, they've already clinched that home field advantage, that number 1 seed. The Dolphins, Chiefs, Jags, who we'll get into in just a moment, are the division leaders at the moment. Browns at the 5 seed, and the Bills still haven't earned a spot. They're at the 6 seed, maybe the wildest team out of everybody in Week 18. The Bills can either win their division, they can make a wild card spot, or they could be out of the playoffs entirely. All 3 up in the air for the Buffalo Bills, as well as the Houston Texans, because the Texans, they clinch the AFC South title. Yes, they can win the division still this weekend with a win, and if Jacksonville loses or they have a tie. And they, like I said, they clinch a playoff berth with a win or a tie plus Jacksonville loss plus Steelers loss or tie, which we don't want that second part. We just want to win. You don't want to tie and then have to watch other games and deal with everything like that. No. Win and you're in. So I need to see how y'all are feeling. I need to know where your confidence level is at, where you're riding right now, how you're feeling. What's your confidence level in the Texans making the playoffs right now? Scale it from 1 to 100. 1, no faith at all. They might as well pack their bags right now, lock up NRG because they're not coming back. 100, they are 100% making the playoffs. You believe in this squad just like I do. Let me know how you're feeling down in the comment section right now. Now, as for Tuesday practice, these players are still questionable to play this weekend, which I know you're kind of freaking out. Laremy Tunsil down there, usually throughout this whole year, since he's such an amazing player, he's, not an older guy, but a veteran in this league. He usually gets rest days, so Laremy Tunsil really didn't play. I don't believe that he'll be out this weekend, but he's one of the guys listed on the questionable list for the Texans. Same as Noah Brown and Robert Woods, the 2 older wide receivers. The one I'm looking at most is Jonathan Greenard. If he can play for the Houston Texans, that'll be huge for them this weekend, as I'll get into my keys to victory later. So is Maliek Collins and Andrew Beck, all questionable as of Tuesday when I'm recording this. But for the Colts, I looked at their injury report. Not a lot of names on there, to be honest. And the one guy who I was looking at is expected to return this week, and that is Kenny Moore, the second, their starting cornerback. Really good corner, if you ask me. 5'9", but plays a lot bigger than his height. 91 tackles, 3 interceptions, 6 pass breakups on the season. So, not good news for the Texans there, but not a lot of injuries for the Colts. But there is still hope. I'm going to be giving you my keys to victory coming up in just a moment. How can the Texans beat the Colts? They lost the first matchup this season where Anthony Richardson started the game, got injured. Then we saw Gardner Minshew, who absolutely went off against the Texans in their first matchup. I'll give you my keys to victory coming up in just a moment. But first, got to show some love to the sponsor of today's show. It's Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks is the most fun I've had, winning up to 25 times my money this football season. It's as easy as this, folks. You just select 2 or more players. You choose more or less on their projected stat types, and then you place your entry. You can choose a flex or power play, depending on how many players you choose. But it's super simple. It's super fun. Go to Prize Picks right now, and go make your picks. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. And Prize Picks is the only fantasy sports platform that offers an injury insurance policy. If a player in football or basketball gets injured in the first half and does not return, that player is rebooted. So, no loss, nothing, no fugazi. You got to go get started today. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Now, my keys to victory up against the Indianapolis Colts. My first one, plain and simple. You got to rattle Gardner Minshew. You can't let him be comfortable, sit back in the pocket, because he will dissect you. He's a good quarterback in this league. He will have a long career as a backup in this league, as a spot starter, as we've seen kind of Joe Flacco go into that role right now. He is that guy. If you're able to get after Minshew and make him uncomfortable, he's a lot less efficient of a passer. If you let him have time, if you let him just sit back there and dot you up, he'll do just that. But I feel very good about the Texans pass rush going into this week. I know I said earlier, Jonathan Greenard, questionable. Will Anderson, a man on a mission, maybe defensive player, rookie, or defensive rookie of the year, if you ask me. This season, he has 7 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, 22 quarterback hits last week. And I know you're saying, wow, those are pretty good numbers. What if I told you this? That was 12 snaps he played. He had a limited snap count against the Titans last week. In 12 snaps, he had 6 quarterback hits, 2 sacks, and a 45.5% pass rush win rate. This dude was dominating last week, and he has gotten better throughout the whole season. There's a reason the Texans traded up to the number 3 overall pick to get this guy. He's an absolute beast. So if he can show out on Saturday, if he can get pressure on Minshew, make his life a living hell, the Texans have a good chance of winning this ball game. But I alluded to it just a second ago. He could win Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's second in the odds right now behind Jalen Carter. What say you? Should Will Anderson win Defensive Rookie of the Year this year? Give me a simple yes. Give me a simple no. And let me know why you think that. I'll be looking down in the comment section. Hey, you. Yes, you. I'll be looking down in the comment section of this video. I want to hear what you have to say. Next up, which this isn't a crazy idea. Maybe you contain their best player, Jonathan Taylor. He has played really well this season after, coming off injury to begin the year. Jonathan Taylor this year has played well in limited time, 139 carries, 550 yards, 6 touchdowns. If you stop Jonathan Taylor, that could be huge for this Texans team. And the one plus thing that I have to say about the Texans with this matchup is the linebacking core has already kind of done this against the Titans twice with Derrick Henry. This linebacking core has played magnificent. Blake Cashman, Denzel Perryman, Christian Harris all play well against the run. Blake Cashman, maybe your best pass defender. But these linebackers under head coach D'Amico Ryans, former linebacker, hey, maybe if you hire a linebacker to be your head coach, the linebackers play well. That's exactly what's happened this season with the Houston Texans. I have confidence that these guys can try to shut down or at least mitigate Jonathan Taylor a little bit this weekend. And this kind of goes with stop containing Jonathan Taylor. The only way you do this is if you do this. You got to win in the trenches. I'm a former big boy. Still a little bit big boy. Sorry. The key to this game, and the key to most games, is you got to win in the trenches, and that comes up big with the Texans' defensive line if Maliek Collins is out as well at defensive tackle, because according to PFF this season, the Colts statistically have a top 10 offensive line in the NFL. We all know about future Hall of Famer Quentin Nelson. He plays really well, so you got to win on that side, and then even on the other side, the Colts' defensive line is very underrated. As we look at their starters, Kwity Paye, the youngster out of Michigan, 8.5 sacks this year. Samson Ebukam, 9.5 sacks on the year. So, a sneaky pass rush duo, and you have DeForest Buckner in the middle who plays very well. Taven Bryan, more of a run stuffer, kind of, just eats blocks. But those 3 guys, DeForest Buckner, Samson Ebukam, Kwity Paye played very well. I'm going to be looking at the Texans' offensive line and defensive line to really win in the trenches. And along with the Texans' offensive line and getting past this defensive line, feed this man. You got to feed the motor, which is Devin Singletary. Hey, folks, we've seen it throughout this year. When Devin Singletary plays well, so do the Houston Texans. He is 165 yards away from eclipsing the 1,000-yard mark. Devin Singletary is electric with the ball in his hands. And I want to see the Texans, I want to see offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick really try to feed him the rock. Because let me tell you this. The Texans are 4-0 when Singletary rushes for at least 80 yards. Let me say that again. They win every single game whenever he rushes for more than 80 yards. So maybe you should try to feed him the rock. Maybe you should give him more chances to run the ball because, hey, good things happen. And I told you earlier about Prize Picks, and I had to show you the projection that they have for Singletary. What say you? What do you think? More or less than 58.5 rush yards for Singletary against the Colts. Type M for more, type L for less. Play a little Prize Picks with me. And if you want to get started today, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS. It's fun. It's exciting. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. But I want you to play Prize Picks with me right now. Go down in the comments. More or less than 58.5 rushing yards for Devin Singletary. My last key to victory, it's the CJ to Nico connection. You got to get CJ Stroud going and his top target, Nico Collins. This connection has been absolutely electric. It has pole vaulted the Texans passing game into one of the top, most feared passing games in the entire NFL. CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, both amazing when they get things going, when they're on the same page. So you got to get them going. You got to get them going early. CJ Stroud to Nico Collins. I mean, both guys missed some time this year, but both have had incredible years. So if they do those 5 things, if CJ Stroud is on his P's and Q's, I do see the Texans winning this game. I'm typing my 100 from that question earlier in the show. I'm typing 100 because that's how confident I am in this Texans team right now. Give me a CJ Stroud. Yeah. That's the end of today's video. If you want to follow me on Twitter, do it at Jeremy Chuggs for more Houston Texans news and rumors, the latest around the NFL, the dankest memes on the internet. Go to Jeremy Chuggs. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/TexansTV. I'm trying to do a watch party this weekend. I need your help. Go down and hit that sub button. We get 50 subs on this video. I'm doing a watch party, and we're getting rowdy this Saturday night.